I'm Kenneth Tang, and I lead a healthcare software company called Prosthetics.
My name is Pollyanna, and I am a colorectal surgery PA at Hogue.
And my name's David Fan, and I just do property management.
It was during the pandemic, and I was battling through cancer. I also used the opportunity of the pandemic to be able to find a new church. Went on all these streams, found Voice through Yelp that had great ratings. and honestly, I fell in love with it. It really helped me throughout my journey, and every single weekend I just kept watching over and over again. It helped me get stronger and be able to overcome the difficulties that life was throwing at me.
For myself, I would say initially I was just going with the flow. Wherever my now wife wanted to go to church, that's also where I would be. But then God reached out to me differently through David as well. What shocked me the most was God actually showed himself and his face to me through how Voice treated David and Polly. We were in a pandemic. Polly had cancer, and it was difficult.
I was going through a pretty tough time. I guess at one point I just kind of grew up and just started feeling really bad about all the knuckleheaded stuff that I've been doing. I was just talking to Kenneth about how I was feeling, and he was just hey, Polly's been checking out a couple churches, and you wanna come check it out. And I was like, you know what, let's do it. I think I need a little bit more Jesus in my life too. That very week we went out to Voice for the first time. We sat together in the back. We went through worship, and I just remember how I kind of already started feeling God's presence right then and there. Taco was talking about how God can do more with our surrender than we can with our own control. And that really got to me, because during that time I didn't have any control. I just overindulged in all of the things that I was doing. And so when I heard that, I was just that really got to me, and that just kind of made me want to continue feeding my hunger for God. I was baptized through Voice Church, and ever since I've been baptized, I've been following God as much as I can, and trying to feed that hunger, that continuous hunger that I have for God. I'm really thankful for Voice Church. They've given me a home. I feel like every time I come in, I have a place where I can worship freely, right? I learned to let go during worship, and I've been doing sound for the church, and I love it. I feel like God called me to do it, and it's been awesome. It's been great.
I've always wanted to be baptized. I just never found that right place where I felt connected to, that it was my home. And I felt that with Voice. And Voice carried me through the darkest of times and showed me love, and also just is a place where you can come in, not feel judged, not feel like you have to put up a front or be a certain way just to walk in. And it teaches people to really intentfully love upon the community and those around you. And so I knew that this is where I wanted to be baptized. I committed myself that day to be a steward of God, and He has taken me to immeasurable places. I'm every single day in awe of the ability that I have to be able to help those around me, even through my darkness and even through my struggles. He was able to take that and make it into good.
For me, I think in this next season, I'm looking for God to work through me. My space is in entrepreneurship and business, and I interact with a lot of people, especially in the business realm, that may not typically exhibit Christ-like behavior. My goal is that, I pray that God will work through me to treat those with compassion still, and regardless of the setting, to show Christ-like attributes and to be as close to Him as possible when interacting with anyone in the space. You can be Christ-like and still succeed in business and all that you do, and still treat people with love and respect, even in a space that typically will tell you that's not always going to be the case.
One thing that Voice has taught me is that even though we're imperfect and we're broken, we serve a God who is perfect, and And that's just something that I want to be able to share with, like, I guess the people who I grew up with, especially those who are as knuckleheaded as me, like all of my friends and stuff. Like, they just continue to see the change that God has done in my life, and maybe just want to come check out church with me one day. That's what I'll keep praying for.
In this next chapter, I pray that God continues to empower me to be able to further out his message onto my family and to friends, and even through my career. I think Reverend Taka told us before, to who in your life have you kind of crossed out of the picture? Like, oh, they would never consider church ever again. I thought David would never come to church, and look what happened. God has performed miracles. He does the unimaginable. So being able to really have that faith that don't cancel anyone out, just be courageous, invite people. And something we're seeing is a lot of our friends, people who don't believe, they're starting to see something that's different. So being able to draw these people into voice and be able to give them that opportunity to experience what we experience would be what my goal is in this next chapter.